We all know that AI is transforming our external world. And today's practice, we'll be doing an AI for the internal world. What does AI mean? AI means Appreciative Inquiry, or in other words, gratitude. So AI can transform the world inside you or within you. So let us take this moment to practice an appreciative inquiry meditation. So I invite you to find a comfortable space where you can sit or lie down or be yourself without disturbance. Dimming the lights if it helps you relax. Maybe consider using a blanket for added comfort. Begin by taking a few deep conscious breaths. Inhale slowly and deeply, filling your lungs with air, and exhale slowly, releasing any tension. Feel your body becoming grounded and present. Before you begin, set an intention for today's practice. What area of your life do you want to explore with appreciation? It could be your relationships, your work, your personal growth, or any aspect that calls to you. Let this intention bubble up into your mind. Take a moment here to form this intention. Now, as you get comfortable with your intention, for this practice, bring to mind a vivid, positive memory, peak experience where you felt truly alive, joyful, and fulfilled. It could be a moment of deep connection with loved ones, personal triumph, a moment of awe in nature, or any experience that resonates so positively that evokes emotion. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? And when you bring this memory, let's use our mind to explore it in detail. Visualize what you see around you. Were there specific colors, shapes, or images that stand out? What sounds were present? Was there music, laughter, or the sounds of nature? What physical sensations did you experience? Feeling of lightness, warmth, gentle breeze. Allow yourself to truly, fully immerse in this experience. Fully feel the emotions associated with this memory. Notice the subtle nuances of joy, gratitude, love, or contentment. Where do you feel these emotions in your body? Making this image really real for you. You are reliving this positive memory. Reflect now on the qualities that enabled this positive experience to occur. What inner resources did you draw upon, such as resilience, empathy, creativity, compassion, acceptance? What skills or talents did you utilize, such as communication, problem solving, leadership? Were there other people involved who supported you or contributed to this experience, to this positive, joyful experience? Take this moment to express sincere gratitude for this experience and for all that contributed to it. And when we dive deep into gratitude, appreciate yourself, acknowledge your part in bringing this positive experience to life. If others were involved, express gratitude for their presence and contributions. Appreciate others. And appreciate the circumstances. Appreciate the circumstances that allowed this experience to unfold. Now consider how you can carry this positive energy forward. How can you try and create more experiences like this in the future? How can you utilize your qualities and strengths in other areas of your life? How can you share this positive energy with others? Now gently bring your attention back to your breath and to the present moment. Notice how your body feels and the subtle shifts in your energy. Carry the feelings of gratitude, joy, and empowerment with you as you move forward. silently repeating the affirmations such as, I am grateful for my strengths and the joy they bring to my life. Or I am open to creating more positive experiences. So in this appreciative inquiry, we deepened our connection to positive emotions by fully immersing ourselves in the sensory and emotional detail of the peak experience. You strengthen your capacity for experiencing positive emotions. You gained profound self-understanding. You uncovered the unique strengths and resources that contribute to your well-being and success. You developed a deep connection for yourself, others, and the circumstances that support your growth. That you expand your potential by focusing on your strengths and positive experiences. You open yourself to new possibilities. You create a more fulfilling life. So this meditation can be practiced regularly to cultivate more positive and an appreciative mindset, helping you find more happiness and personal growth. So thank you and hope this was useful. And as you come back into the practice, I invite you to start to think about positive psychology. So for the next section, we will be discussing what positive psychology means and how you can use it to cultivate more of a growth mindset. So what is positive psychology? So the question, what is wrong with people, has guided the thinking of many psychologists and dominated basically the scientific studies during the 20th century, right? It cannot be denied that it is an important question in the sense of, to learn more about the human nature, we had to ask these tough questions. In our attempts to answer this question, we gained insight into many illnesses and developed effective treatments for a wide range of problems. This is what commonly referred to as the diagnosis route or the disease model. However, focusing just on the disease and mental deficit has limited our understanding and knowledge base of human functioning, as very little attention is focused on the factors that make life amazing or worth living. So this weakness focus on what is wrong with an individual is what we called weakness focus. And we placed direct attention on negative aspects on individuals. A weakness focus meant that we are primarily concerned with behavior that is causing us to be suboptimal or low performance. For example, this is often used in performance evaluation. The employer focuses only on why an employee is not reaching their targets or why they are not able to communicate well. And then the weakness focus translated into psychology, and there were so many psychologies which were created which just focused on repairing weaknesses, or in other words, they were using ideas to diagnose and make it as a disease, something wrong with the human nature. So this is what is happening in the early 20th century. Misconceptions which started to form with this disease model were like fixing what is wrong leads to well-being. So in this belief, what is wrong will automatically lead to well-being. This is very counterintuitive, as it may sound. Happiness and unhappiness are on the same line. So the positive affect is not the opposite of negative affect. What that means in normal words is getting rid of your anger, fear, depression will not automatically lead to peace, love, and joy. And in similar ways, reducing fear, anger are not identical to strategies to maximize peace, joy, or meaning. And this notion started to form, which is mental health is not merely the absence of illness, but is the presence of something positive. The other misconception which started to be part of this disease model of our mental wellness is an effective coping strategy is described as a reduction in negative states. What that means is when we feel less sad, less angry, or less depressed, that is actually treated as a better coping strategy. The other misconception which came around in this early development of psychology really was correcting weaknesses creates optimal performance. So when we correct these sort of maladies or things which we call as deficit, we believed that optimal performance just had to come up. So if someone with anxiety overcomes their anxiety, you expect them to just flourish, which is not true. And the other misconception was weaknesses or the lack was more important than what the person brought in terms of strengths and overall being. And this was another major misconception. And the last misconception was the deficit focus can help prevent problems. So if we focus on repairing weaknesses, we will increase our understanding of weaknesses, and then we can bring forward more ways to decrease the gap between negative to getting rid of that weakness. Many interventions have been developed to cure mental illnesses or other problems by focusing on fixing things that have already gone wrong. So this is also another misconception. But what is the positive psychology perspective? So in this field of positive psychology, the idea was to move beyond human problems and pathology to human flourishing. So the main proponent was someone called Martin Seligman. And according to Seligman, positive psychology aims to move people from, let's say, -10 to 0, but from 0 to +10. So that's the kind of idea. So it's not focusing on the negatives, it's focusing on the strengths people bring. And the question that positive psychology aims to answer are, what are the characteristics of people with high levels of happiness, high levels of efficiency, and how have they managed their troubles effectively? In other words, what strengths do these people possess which we can help others with? So this is the idea of positive psychology. An important mission in positive psychology is to investigate human behavior from a strengths approach. And it's often referred to as the health model of human functioning. So what is healthy within us? We try to incorporate more of it, we start to learn more about it, and then we use that as to propel ourselves into human flourishing. So we went from a disease model to a health model. And at first sight, this may look like the best way to do things, but the problem is it was very difficult to really prove its effectiveness, because what personal qualities help buffer against certain illnesses? How can you increase happiness? Which characteristics of people and environment are related to high level of being? How can we develop valid measurement tools? What is the role of positive emotions and experiences? How can we best embrace the existence and deal with the negative experiences? And how can we create healthy self-esteem? These were questions which were bubbling up, and addressing these questions gave us concrete actions that led to improved human functioning. But there was a problem. But before we go into the problem, there were so many practices which came about and many interventions and actions that are proven to enhance well-being as an outcome from this positive psychology movement, and is used in positive psychology counseling and coaching. And these are applied in different ways. So existing treatment programs can start to include positive psychology interventions into their treatment protocol. For example, cognitive behavior therapists may use positive interventions like gratitude practice as an addition to their regular program. Many positive intervention clients can actively work on their personal development, and new interventions have been developed that strongly rely on insights and principles of positive psychology. A few examples of these interventions. So one we did just today, which was the Appreciative Inquiry. There's searching for the best in people, organizations, and communities through discovery of what gives life to a system when it's most effective and most economically, ecologically, and socially acceptable. And AI shares the strengths-based approach of positive psychology. Then there is positive psychotherapy, then there is positive cognitive behavior therapy, then there's strengths-based counseling, then there is solutions-focused therapy. explains that this explains the strengths people possess can be applied to change process. And in this solution-based therapy is very important. They use a lot of positive language that focus on possibilities and positive exceptions. And that is how the therapist influences clients to perceive their problems, assist them in seeing the potential for solutions, and creates an expectancy for change. So these are some of the tools. But coming back to the problem, what is the problem with positive psychology? The problem being it only focused on the positive side of human functioning. However, the strong focus on these positive experiences, traits, thoughts, and emotions carried that implicit message, or in itself was saying that people should strive mainly for positive experiences and should avoid negative experiences. While psychology, the learning of the mind, was criticized by the positive psychologists for exclusive focus on the negatives, positive psychologists in this early phase were criticized for their exclusive focus on just strengths. So, in this new wave of positive psychology, it started to understand the interdependence between the negative emotions we face, or the negative aspects we call ourselves in our lives, and understood that these are also areas we should incorporate and is dependent. So it is not as same as good versus bad. So perceiving negative events and experiences as bad is not the way to practice positive psychology. And we started to incorporate aspects of negative and made it into positive. So people reported major positive changes as a result of challenging life events. And this process is referred to as benefit finding. And the positive effects that result from some event which was negative, used as something that can derive positive growth from adversity. So, in a sense, what I'm trying to say is that there was the negative traits we carried out, or we used to have, or was sidelined when the first wave of positive psychologists came. And in the second wave of positive psychologists, they understood, okay, the negative things we carry around are also something we have to work on, and it can have impact in human flourishing. And also just focusing on the positive becomes negative. For example, considering someone who is an extreme optimist, who excessively positive. Excessive positivity means that they lose touch with what is happening around them. They see things only as they want to see them, rather than maybe some of the reality. So this extreme level of positivism can be difficult, and it's maladaptive and actually cannot help you in your growth. So it is important to understand that the positive aspects, solely focusing on the positive, can be negative. So that is how, that is kind of the idea of positive psychology and how it translates into coaching. So in a sense, we are the goal of helping every professional is to eventually become redundant by helping people realize that they are their own captains of their own ship as such, and they can take effective action. So positive psychology started to help people take action considering all the different circumstances, all the different variables in their own life, and understand that this considers perspectives such as positive and negative, controllable and uncontrollable. And this takes us into a metaphor for human functioning, and it's called the boat metaphor of human functioning. The water around the boat can be compared to what is called the playground of life, that is where we run around. Then we have the compass in our boats, is an instrument used for navigation, orientation that shows directional relative to the environment. It is very important because if we just run around in the playground, we don't know where we are going. It provides feedback on current direction, so we need that in our boat. Then we look at the steering wheel of the boat. The steering wheel represents our personal values, determines where the boat will go, and how we want our life to be. Then the other aspects are the leaks within the boat. So this represents areas where we are drained of energy and it reduces our well-being. Can be physical, cognitive or behavioral level. So we understand that the boats may have some leaks, and how just fixing them doesn't necessarily mean that the boat is functioning well. And then we have the sails or the engine, which is the powerhouse, which is what drives us towards the goal. So these are things like optimism, acceptance, gratitude, that provides energy to our mission. Then we have the weather, which is things around us which we have no control of. And sometimes the wind is blowing in our sails and we encounter situations that allow us to use our strengths optimally. Sometimes the wind is against us, then we have to use the wind in a way to propel us forward. So this is what the weather around us. Then we have other boats. Other boats around us represents people, things around us which help us improve our social network. And just like a boat can sail to certain destinations, people can use this to reach the goals. While a value reflects the general direction of the boat, a goal or a destination is a specific concrete place. So this is what coaching comes in. So when we discuss coaching, we have something we are going after, and this is the destination. And achieving personal milestones, meaningful goals can help build self-confidence and self-efficacy. So then, when you consider all these 8 elements, you become the captain of your own journey. And how do you take action? You start to work on your attention. You start to work on your thoughts. You start to work on your motivation coming through mindset, momentum, and methods. Then you start to take action. So that is how you can use positive psychology in your lives. So I hope this was a useful guide in positive psychology and hope you understood a little bit more of the nuances of what positive psychology meant, what you meant by disease model, health model, and positive psychology second wave, which is more of a inclusive coaching experience. We started to think about us being the captains of our own boats and how we can start to understand the different areas. Now, I did not go into the details of it, so if you are interested in going into the details and starting to work on your own projects, please let me know. I'm happy to help you there, and this is a wonderful exercise you can do by yourself as well. So thank you for being part of this. Thank you for listening, sharing, and if you have any specific questions on coaching, especially on positive psychology, please let me know, and I'm sure to help. So until the next time, thank you. This has been Daily Practice with Nikhil, and hope you have a wonderful day.